the weird uncle that literally used to rent from us that I was telling you about that didn't pay his rent. He was in the cocina when all that was going down, and my mom was there too, and she was literally lecturing me, blah blah blah. She was like, I don't know what, that's why I hate you, and blah blah blah. And then the guy, the tío, he would always be like, oh, pégale, pégale, para que se componga. And my mom sometimes she would listen, and that day she did motherfucking listen, and she fucking hit me. I went crying to the room. And I literally had the bottle of Tylenol there, and I didn't even know if I was gonna do it, but I literally was like, what if I just drink it and end it all now? Like, the fuck? I don't even know if that shit would end me, right? Is how them bitches, even though that they had bullied me for being fat, and they had bullied me for all this bullshit, tell me why I saw the guy, right, the Toto dude, who used to put fucking juice in my chicken. I literally saw him in 6th grade. After all that shit, he don't remember that he used to fucking bully me the fuck out of me. Oh, he used to pinch me too, I forgot. He used to pinch me. And they had that little taser gun, right? And he would he would be like, give us some gum. And my dumbass, since I didn't know, I would pull it like this. And I would get tased. Do you guys remember that? Where them bitches is always fat phobic and shit. And their auntie was big as a fucking gorilla. And you know what's even crazy? Her mom wasn't even skinny. Nor her dad. They were never skinny. So I don't even know why the fuck, you know. They were so fat phobic and just so evil little bitches. But, I don't know, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Guys, literally this is my favorite novela. I'm using this brush because I can't find my other hairbrush, so I'm literally struggling with this one. Don't come for me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why is it giving if I had bangs it would be kind of cute?
Brother, this guy stinks!
It's just that I have fucking weird shaped forehead, so I don't think they would suit. Literally, hace rato I was recording and telling you guys what we were going to be talking about today, but literally I was watching it, and the novela, even though I've seen this like hella times and it's been part of my childhood, every time I see it, it's like I discover new things that I didn't even realize that were there. Anyways, today's video, we're going to be unpacking trauma. It's going to be growing up in a Hispanic household, and who wants to pay for a therapist when you can literally ask these questions yourself, you know?
Estoy loco. Estoy loco.
And then I was like, maybe there's other people who can relate to my experience. So I'm just gonna, you know, talk as we go. Hopefully it doesn't get too crazy. Hopefully I don't want to get too emotional. I was born 2004, and my dad, he, from what I remember, I've always been a daddy's girl. Well, up until like high school or middle school, when I started kind of drifting away for its own reasons, which will probably be another video, but I kind of don't want to speak on it because these things are still kind of going on. So I don't want to step on anybody's toes because you never know who's watching. And I honestly don't want to get into it with my dad. My mom also lived with us, but me and her kind of had a rocky relationship starting about when my brother was born, but that'll come into play later. I was the only child up until I was like 7 years old. I lived with my mom and my dad. Coming back in here because I forgot to add the occasional weird uncles and aunties too that lived in my house throughout the years growing up, but not important in this story, or at least not yet. We would always go places. They would take me to, oh, this highlights my childhood because we used to always go to Chuck E. Cheese. It was one of my favorite places to go. So keep in mind, I was still going to Chuck E. Cheese, even though, I mean, I wasn't that old, but I mean, I was on the heavier side. So obviously, you know, some of the games that the kids would use, I couldn't use anymore because I was already big as fuck. But tell me why. Do you guys remember those clocks that was on the wall that had the little chair so you can go up in a circle like this? Tell me why I got on it one time and that shit literally got stuck and came back down. If that wasn't Big Bag, I don't know what the fuck is. My dad, when we used to live at the apartments, We would go to the pool. We would do a lot of stuff together, basically. We were like inseparable. I remember also, if I can find pictures, I'll probably post them up here and, you know, insert them and stuff so you guys can look at it. But then I started going to school. In kindergarten and first grade was my first school for, we're gonna call it Fountain, because that's what it was called.
Okay.
It was a really nice environment. I really enjoyed going to that school. The only thing that I didn't enjoy was when I was babysat by that bitch of a babysitter, which story time is coming up soon, right now. I just had to give a disclaimer because I'm literally all over the place. I had a babysitter. This lady used to babysit me, I think when I was 4, which I kind of blurred the lines there because I don't remember exactly how old I was. But I do remember I was going to this school. I was going to Fountain because they would drop me off at the same bus stop where the babysitter's kids would go. Her name was Maria. Put it out there because honestly,
Don't fuck with that bitch. Fuck that hoe.
bruh, I was a fucking kid. Like, the fuck? I remember my mom, she would always work. Her and my dad, they would always work. And I didn't realize till later that my mom and my dad were that relationship that was 50-50. My mom, she would literally pay for the babysitter. The whole babysitter. She would pay for some of the groceries. And when there was parties, she would buy me my outfit and she would pay. And my dad would just pay like the rent and I guess the bills of the house. Lady had to come back home, cook, clean, and have me ready in the morning to go to the babysitter. But my mom would pitch in too. And so, but my mom didn't have a lot of money anyway because they wouldn't make a lot of money. She said they were making $5 an hour back then, $200 a week. So it wasn't even a lot of money. So she was saying how, you know, that she used to work and blah, blah, blah. And I do remember her working most of my childhood. And she would send me to this babysitter, like I said, Maria. And I would go to her apartment. She lived in the same apartments as us. So it kind of made sense for us to get off at the bus stop there and get on to go to her apartment.
The ghetto!
In her apartment, she had, she would take care of this other baby and her son and her daughter, obviously because they're her kids. I remember they used to call his bitch ass Toto, and then they would call her Lupita or some shit like that. Lupita, something, cinturita, a glass. And they were both like skinny ass motherfuckers. So, you know, I was always the fucking butt of the joke because I was a little chunkster. If I can also find a picture, I will insert it here. So they would kind of bully me and like say shit to me. But, you know, my mom, she always taught me that to not say nothing, that it's better to be one crazy person than to be two crazy people. So I was like, whatever, I would ignore them. I would try to ignore them at least, and whatever, fuck it. But I remember that every time that I used to go to their house, it was something with them. When I would get there, my mom would drop me off like 4 or 5 in the morning before she went to work, and they would be sleeping, obviously, and her mom would also be sleeping, and I would have to sleep in the sofa, and, you know, until it was time to get up and they would play or whatever. But sometimes she would wake up first. The girl, Lupita, she would wake up first, and she would be playing on her Nintendo or whatever, and she would sometimes tell me to, well, because they were bipolar, I think they low-key were bipolar, but she would tell me to come play with her and blah blah blah, and we would play a little bit. And then when her brother woke up, that's when she started being a bitch to me. Like, she would be like, I can't remember what they would say to me, but I do remember mostly that the guy, every time that my mom would pack me food, his bitch ass would always do some sneaky shit to it. Like, one time, I tell my mom vividly, I remember him putting orange juice in my chicken and rice, so I wasn't able to eat it. And literally, it was like, now that I think about it, like, somebody did that to my child, I would literally be bawling because I was literally 4, 5, 6 years old and going through this bullshit. And so I also remember I told my mom that, and she was just like, ah, pinche chamaco travieso and stuff like that. But she wouldn't tell anything to the Maria girl, because the Maria lady, because obviously she needed me to be taken care of. So obviously she wasn't gonna look for any issues or anything like that. Another thing they would also do, sometimes I would bring my book bag, because I always had my toys, because my mom, she always told me that, you know, si no te prestan los juguetes, pues llévate los tuyos, you know? Not to, she wasn't never a problem starter. She was never like beat their ass or nothing like that. She never said anything like that to me. So I would, you know, bring my toys, and I always brought this floaty that me and my dad would go to the pool with. And I was, hey, do you think one day we can go to the pool and blah blah blah? They're like, yeah, we'll go one day. And you know, as a kid, you always like, one day, you never know what day. So I would bring my float, because I didn't know how to swim, so I would bring my floaty every day, my Bratz dolls every day to their house, see if I would go to the pool. And anyways, it wasn't like I wanted them to take me, like, oh bitch, you're gonna take me. No, it was mostly because they would say that they were gonna take me, you know? But now that I'm older, I'm thinking that they were more like, oh, we're gonna take you, so I would stop asking. But it literally made me ask more, because why wouldn't you just say, no, it's too dangerous, or no, this, like, no, bitch, I don't want to take you. Like, I'd much rather that than you leading me on, you know? And I would obviously keep my little book bag with my stuff in there and save them for later, you know, to play. But tell me why I literally would fall asleep, because it was so fucking early. So I would fall asleep, and when I woke up, all my toys were gone. Everything was gone. They would hide everything. They would destroy my stuff. They would hide my toys. They would do this. They would do that. I remember she would also, like, you know, back then we used to trade, like, the doll's feet, the Bratz feet. We would trade the Bratz feet and the clothes. And sometimes I didn't want to change them, and she would, like, convince me to change them. And sometimes she would even fucking steal them, because I would literally be missing some of my stuff sometimes. But obviously I couldn't do much about it, and probably didn't even pay attention because I was so small. But then there was the last straw for me, and that's when kind of my mom, we moved to the other apartment, so that lady couldn't take care of me anymore. So the last straw was when one day, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I just know that lady was sweeping, and she fucking threw the fucking chancla at me. Like, she threw it like, bah. The fuck? And literally, I remember just being in shock. I don't remember crying or anything like that, but I just remember being in shock. Like, this bitch really threw a motherfucking chancla at my fucking face. And she was like, when my mom came, I told my mom, and I told her in her ear. And I was like, this bitch just motherfucking threw the fucking chancla in my motherfucking face. And my mom, she was just like in shock. She didn't say anything. What's it called? My mom, she didn't say anything much. I officially moved to the other apartments. I misspoke. We were still, she still took care of me, I think, for a little bit, until we made the transition to a different school. So my dad would, in the morning when my mom had to go, obviously he would drop us off before he left. But in la tarde, that's when, bitch, we had to walk, literally, I can literally search up how many miles. I'll search it up and put it right here. Bruh, I was literally here dying of laughter. That it's not really that far, bitch. I was just a little bitch, because it was literally a 4-minute drive, but it was a 38-minute walk. And keep in mind, I was a fucking fatty 5-year-old, and this literally was an everyday thing. Well, most days thing, you know, most days. So yeah, give me some grace here. I had to walk these many miles to get to the new apartments. But I remember we would walk for hours, bro, hours. Because obviously we were trying to save money, because in that time we didn't make a lot of money. So we would walk, and I remember walking back home, and I would tell my mom, I don't want you to go to work, don't go to work. That lady, she treats me bad. The kids, they fucking hate me, they fucking bully me, and they do this to me and they do that to me. And I remember she would just be like, oh, it's good, if I don't work, then where, you know, I have to work. Where are we gonna get the money from? I have to work. And so I kind of, you know, sucked it up until, okay, now we finally fucking transitioned to the other school. And finally I was able to kind of, you know, move out that hellhole. I wish I could have stayed there, honestly, and finished my elementary years there, because all my little friends were there. I had my little school crush there. So honestly, when I did end up switching schools, I kind of was sad, because honestly I didn't want to leave. I like going to the school that I was going to. So when I left, it kind of, I would say it kind of took a toll on me, but not too much, you know, because I wanted to be the new girl. I was like, it was giving pick me vibes, but I was excited, especially since in that school, in the new school that I was gonna go to, there was this other guy that I was kind of into. So I was excited to go there, and I was like, I'm gonna go to school with him, I'm gonna get to see him. And I did see him a couple times in the gym when we would go in the morning. Side story, it had its good and its bad, because honestly, even though it was decent, it wasn't the best school, honestly, because tell me why. As soon as I got there in second grade, the first thing the teacher told me was like, something she told me was like, she was pregnant. I remember her name was Miss Green or some shit. She was like, oh, you need to wear a bra because we can literally see your fucking tatas. And I was like, okay. But bitch, I didn't even have, you know, it was just, I was chubby. But still, I get it. Okay, I let that pass. But tell me why another day, I literally had my, do you guys remember the twistable coloring pencils? I literally had those. My mom had just got me those. And I remember my friend or whatever she was asked me to use them, and I was like, yeah, go ahead, use them. But then, bitch, an op that I knew at that school, and she was a pygmy. She was a goody two-shoes and everything. And the teacher was literally had her head shoved up her motherfucking ass. But she was like, can I use them too? And I was like, no, the fuck? I didn't want her to use my colors, because bitch, I knew if I would ask her for anything, she literally gave me the side eye and wouldn't want to talk to me at all. So when she asked me to use my coloring pencils, I was like, bitch, why the fuck would I let you use my coloring pencils knowing how the fuck you are? So I said no, and I stood my ground, and the teacher was like, oh, why don't you let her borrow them? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, because I don't want to. She was like, get out. She was literally like, told me to get out the fucking classroom for that dumbass shit. She was like, go to blank's classroom for 30 minutes. Bitch, I was walking out that hallway for 30 minutes, and I came back to the class, and I'm like, 30 minutes passed already. She was like, did you go? Like I told you. No, walk in there and go. And I'm like, okay. And I did it again, and I stood outside the classroom. When she kicked me out, I literally stood outside the classroom. I was so stupid. What the fuck? So then, I finally went in that classroom, bro, and it was so embarrassing. Everybody was looking at me. Oh, hell nah. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that hoe. Well, I just saw him. I didn't really talk to him like that, but we were close. He would always come to my house, and we would always play and stuff. I literally can't remember, but I would just jump around from babysitter to another babysitter. And honestly, theirs wasn't as traumatic as mine, so I literally can't remember. But up to a certain age, when I would go to the house by myself, I would literally just stay by myself. Or when I turned 7, my brother was born. And my mom, she's literally only stayed for a little bit at the house, and then she started working again. My little brother was little, and my mom had to work. I forget who she used to drop us off with, But I do remember that sometimes, like, I would literally take care of myself and my brother. And then my mom, she went back to work. I can't remember exactly, it was a year later. My dad literally lost his 2 fingers, these 2 right here. So he was unable to work for like the longest. And my mom had to step up and, you know, work even more so she could help out pay the rent. And I remember this time, my dad, he was literally so miserable. Like he couldn't do anything. And I couldn't tell because I was so little how sad it was, honestly. And my mom would literally help him. She would wash his fingers, she would do this, she would do that. You know, I always think about that and I'm just like, how my mom was like down as fuck. Like there's some bitches who, when their partners go through something like that, they're like, get up and leave. I mean, my mom was 2 kids in, but then my dad used to take care of us and he would watch us. And, you know, I would still have to help though, because he couldn't do much because his fingers were like cut off. And sometimes he would go to therapy and he would drop us with one of the family friends down the street. And she's a nutcase herself, but she never did anything to me. You know, her family, all they treated me pretty okay. Only, you know who didn't treat me so good? Her son, her oldest son. He was like 28, 29, 30. I don't know, because he's like 50 now. And this was like years ago. So I can't even remember how old he was. But since I have a unibrow, he would always say that, oh my God, look at your eyebrows. They literally look like they're finna fly away. Like, they're literally touching. They just, le faltaban para que se iran a volar para que fueran fucking pájaros. The fuck? I know the fuck you're not talking, bitch. I'm not even gonna say what I thought I was gonna say because I do not want to get canceled. Sorry. Canceled by Diosito. No. Sometimes when my dad, he would drop off my little brother to that lady, and he would be like, he would so I wouldn't get scared. He would leave me a note at the house. Since I didn't have a phone back then, he would leave me a note and it would be like, oh, ahorita vengo, I went here and here, or oh, I'll be right back, I went here and here. And I would be like, aquí. And I would just be like so sad. I'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe he left me. I remember when I was younger, because I didn't know. Obviously, we're fucking stupid when we're little. We don't know nothing about money. So my mom, the longest, because my dad, he didn't have a license, so he would get in trouble. And literally, he got arrested one time. And we were literally always in taxi or walking. When we would go to the dentist or whatever, that was literally the highlight of my childhood, because when we would go to the dentist or we would go to get groceries or something, my dad sometimes, since it was only me, we used to always go to walking to Burger King, bro. And I know bitches be hating on Burger King, but Burger King is actually really fucking good. It's giving Little Caesars like the underdog, you know? How Little Caesars is the underdog, but bitch, if you fucking hungry as fuck and you eat that shit is literally bomb. But okay, anyways, so also I didn't know we were struggling at the time because my dad, I always wondered this, and he just recently told me. He was like, oh, that there wasn't money, that the recession and all that stuff. I didn't even know there was a fucking recession, bitch, when I was in 2008 when the recession hit. I didn't even know we were in a fucking recession, bitch. And you know, obviously for it to get back to where it was, there was a couple years that you know there had to be work before obviously the recession got better. And so I remember for Christmas or for whatever, my dad always used to tell me, oh, how many quarters did you collect? We're gonna go change them so you can get a Christmas present and blah blah blah, you can buy whatever you want. And so I remember I would always save up my little quarters and whatnot, and at the end of the year we would change them and we would see what we would buy and stuff like that. And then I asked my dad, I was like, why do the kids don't do that no more? It was like, bitch, we were brokenness, that's why we did that. I was like, the fuck? I was like, I did not motherfucking know that. I was like, yeah, we were literally struggling to pay the rent, and then we had another guy living with us, and sometimes he wouldn't even pay his rent due, so we literally had to pull out of our own pocket and pay his part for the same reason. And so yeah, anyways, but yeah, well, after my little brother, he was a little bit older, and you'll probably see in the pictures. I don't want to insert a picture because I know I'm gonna get clowned. I always been chunky, but I was never like fucking big as fuck until my brother turned like 2, I think 1 or 2. And I think that's just the body's way of coping, because I would literally stuff my fucking face, and literally I got big as fuck, even bigger. It's not traumatized, but I used to be, how do they say, I always felt like the villain. Like I would always get in trouble. Like my mom and my dad, they would always get me in trouble. As soon as my brother was like 1 or 2, I would always get in trouble. My mom would always tell me, oh, cuida tu hermano, oh, do this, oh, do that. Literally, I was changing diapers, giving milk, doing this, doing that for most of my brothers, but mainly for the one after me. And so I always wanted a little brother too, so it was kind of my fault, I feel, sometimes, because I always told my mom that I wanted a little brother. So my brother would fall, I would get in trouble. My brother would do this, I would get in trouble. Everything, it was on me. And so I remember, but my dad fucking hit me, and he was like, bitch, por no poner atención, and I don't know what. And I was like, the fuck? I literally just got whooped because of this motherfucker. So I always resented my little brother when I was little, because I was like, because of his bitch ass, I'm literally getting motherfucking hit or getting in trouble. Mostly by my mom though. And I remember this one time, this is gonna be so big back of me. I had saved these chetos. My brother was now like, I would say like 3 or 4, because my baby, she's 2, and she literally loves hot Cheetos, so I'm pretty sure he was young still. And I remember I had saved my hot Cheetos for when I got back from school. And tell me why the fuck this bitch ate my motherfucking hot Cheetos. Like, I was thinking about them the whole day at school. Why did this motherfucker eat my fucking hot Cheetos? Fuck. And I was literally crying, bro. I was literally crying, and I was shitting, throwing up, everything. And my mom motherfucking whooped me. She got the motherfucking cable. I remember too. It was something like this. She got the fucking cable. Bam! Bam! 2 of them bitches. Left the mark on my leg too. And I was so mad, bro. I was so mad. And I ran to my room, and I was like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna run away. And, you know, the shit that we say all the time. I'm gonna run away. I'm never gonna come back. And blah, blah, blah. Bitch, never run away. I also remember this one time. I don't know what had happened with my little brother. But we were, like, either fighting, or my mom told me to cuidarlo, and he fell and he fucking cried. I don't know. But I do remember that we ended up fighting about something. The weird uncle that literally used to rent from us, that I was telling you about, that didn't pay his rent, he was in the cocina when all that was going down. And my mom was there too, and she was literally lecturing me, blah blah blah. And she was like, I don't know what, that's why I hate you, and blah blah blah. And then the guy, the tío, he would always be like, oh, pégale pa que se componga. And my mom, sometimes she would listen, and that day she did motherfucking listen, and she fucking hit me. I went crying to the room, and I literally had the bottle of Tylenol there, and I didn't even know if I was gonna do it, but I literally was like, what if I just drink it and end it all now? Like, the fuck? I don't even know if that shit would end me, right? Would that end me? I don't think so. Anyways, after that, he was like, I don't know, after that, it's kind of blurry, I can't remember. But I remember that I used to always take care of my little brother, and, you know, like it was mine. I will show you another picture here. I'm gonna insert of me literally holding my baby brother on my hip like the mom. It was literally my birthday and I was holding the baby like it was my kid. And then you know what's even crazy? That when girls do have kids at a young age, then they're steady asking why. Why did the girl grow up so fast? Why did the girl this? Like, why do we grow up so fast, and why this and why that? And it's like we've literally been doing this since we were younger. And you know, it's kind of like maybe that has something to play into that, or I don't know. But anyway, what's done is done, and what's it called? The story's almost over. I think I do say something else about it at the end, but if not, the most important part is over. You guys can exit out if you want to, but if you want to stay to the end, you can stay to the end. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for supporting. Lali. Be careful porque está dirty. Vamos a ver a Fernando. Fernando. Ferchi. ¿Por qué te amarraron tan feo? ¿Quién te amarró así? ¿Quién te amarró así? Di hola. Uh-oh. Okay, so we're outside now. I'm gonna finish the video out here because why not? It's literally a vibe. I got ready because I went to go see if my car was gonna get fixed or whatever, and luckily it did get fixed. I don't think it was nothing too serious. So I was in there about 30 minutes and they had me out. I mean, it will be the least they can do, right? Anyways, back to the story. So I was basically just saying how sometimes I resented my little brother. I'm sorry, because of the boogers. I resented my little brother because of that shit. But now I don't give a fuck. I mean, it made me, I feel like even though it was traumatic or whatever, I feel like it still gave me the experience, like, and molded me into the person that I am today. And even though what I was going at too with the trauma shit about having growing up like that, is how them bitches, even though that they had bullied me for being fat and they had bullied me for all this bullshit, tell me why. I saw the guy, right, the Toto dude who used to put fucking juice in my cereal, my chicken. I literally saw him in 6th grade, 7th grade, and he was low-key trying. Why was he low-key trying to be my friend? Anyways, don't give a fuck. But he also used to come to when we grew up, and I was like, when we grew up. And then another time I saw him was when I was 14, 15, and I remember that he was trying to rizz up my girl. We used to work together at Burritos, and he was trying to rizz her up, and he would try to be cool with me or whatever. And I'm just like, look at this dude. After all that shit, he don't remember that he used to fucking bully me the fuck out of me. Oh, he used to pinch me too. I forgot. He used to pinch me. And they had that little taser gum, right? And he would he would be like, do you want some gum? And my dumbass, since I didn't know, I would pull it like this and I would get tased. Do you guys remember that? But also, another thing, I don't know why them bitches is always fat phobic and shit, and their auntie was big as a fucking gorilla. Big as fuck, just like me. And then who else? Oh, and then you know what's even more crazy? Not too long ago, I think when I was a year ago or two, when I was going to the gym with my bestie, tell me why the fuck we seen her. Yeah, I think it was that day. We literally saw them, right? Saw her and her cousin, the Lupita bitch, and tell me why the fuck she was fucking had a fucking whole fat back computer shaped ass bitch looking like a fucking like me. The fuck? I'm like, bitch, that's why you don't call no motherfucker fat. Because bitch, I heard this saying one time before, bitch, don't be calling bitches fat because either your kids turn out fat or you marry somebody fat or you become fat. And I'm like, bitch used to be a motherfucking stick and now looking like a big back bitch. Sorry guys, I literally got too passionate there. But and you know what's even crazy, her mom wasn't even skinny, nor her dad. They were never skinny, so I don't even know why the fuck, you know, they were so fat phobic and just so evil little bitches. But all in all, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, oh, and then one time she was trying to sell me this box charm. Do you guys remember that? It was like a thing of makeup, and I was like, no thank you. What the fuck? Still trying to talk to me after that bullshit? The fuck? And you know what's crazy? Her tia, the big bad computer shaped ass bitch, she was she literally used to come to where I used to work, to Burritos, and every day they would order like stuff from the restaurant. Like, bitch, if I was an evil bitch, I would have spit in that shit. But I'm not like that, because con la comida no se juega. But still. Anyways, that was my little rant, my little trauma session. If you guys could help me out, like, comment, and subscribe. Watch the video to the end, and if you stay to the end, comment video ideas that you guys would like to see. I'm down for whatever, challenges, whatever the fuck. I like doing everything. So yeah, and I like to talk a lot, so anything that has to do with talking, bitch, the fuck, I'm down. And sorry for my voice and all that shit. I know I sound kind of crazy, but it's because I literally just got over like a big ass cold not too long ago, and I still have a little bit of congestion. So also, if I'm breathing hard more than usual, please give me some grace. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for the ones who've already subscribed. 159 of us. Oh my god, that's so fucking crazy. I can't wait till we become even more people. Maybe you guys can interact a little bit more in the comments and comment, because I will comment back. I always come back. I like to talk. All right, bye guys. Oh look, special, if you stay to the end, comment a goat emoji. Look at these beautiful babies. I love you, baby. Lolly. They think we have food. We don't have food.
Yes. No, yes.
My mom said they ate earlier, so right now I just pulled this tree branch down so they can have some little snack. You like the swing?
Yeah.
You know you can swing your feet like this, look. So you can swing. Look.